Good morning from a lovely early morning in Loch Ness. Today on our adventures we are heading to Braemar and we are stopping on Inverness this morning on the way. So we're going to have a mooch around Inverness because it's pretty much en route. We found somewhere on the parking app to park, so fingers crossed we'll get there early enough, and then we are heading on to Braemar for a few days to explore Balmoral and Braemar and all that that has to offer before we go on to the final leg of our journey down to Edinburgh. So please join us as we head into Inverness and head out on the road again.
Hi, we're James and Rob and this is our dog Oscar. It's a really steep learning curve when you start your motorhome, campervan or caravan journey, and there is lots that we wish we had known. So we decided to document what we have learned and share with you our adventures as we head out on the road again.
Hello again. So we are arrived in Inverness. It was a really pain-free journey and we used the Park for Nights app to find some parking. We parked in the council car park next to the Eden Theatre. And there's about 8 dedicated bases. There's actually a COVID testing centre at the moment, but there didn't seem to be stopping other vehicles parking. So that's where we've parked. And according to Google Maps, it's about a 10 to 15 minute walk into town from there, which is perfectly fine, give us all a bit of exercise, and we are going to walk along the river. So let's have a look at that. Here we are in the town centre. We're going to have a mooch around and I'm going to see if I can buy a disc drive because I'm running out of space for all these videos. So we'll see what we can find. Had a wander around Inverness. It's worth, typical town centre, but definitely worth stopping. And right now we are in the Victorian Centre having a coffee. Any thoughts, James?
Nice little town centre. The Victorian Market's worth coming to, just for a little wander.
And parking?
Parking's easy. Just use the Park for Nights app.
So we've just been to Eastgate Pet Store and met the friendliest person ever. We wanted to get some ointment for Oscar's ear because he's got a bit of an itchy ear, and she ended up giving us a load of food for free to try. We had to insist on paying for some of it.
But just great advice.
Yeah, and good advice, and you don't kind of get that service down south. So we are going to cross over this bridge. So we've had a lovely few hours in Inverness exploring, buying a few things that we needed, having a coffee, chatting to super friendly people, having lots of people stop and talk to us about the dog, and we are gonna wander over to the cathedral and cross this bridge first. We'll take you with us. Good morning from Braemar. Unfortunately, yesterday our memory card got full of the amazing journey through the mountains, which you'll have watched just before this. So I'm just doing a wrap up of this week's video the following day. So we arrived in Braemar. It was a beautiful journey, but pretty hairy in places, and luckily there wasn't a ton of traffic on the roads, especially with the single track with lots of passing spaces. But I've got to say, Scotland does it so well that it wasn't stressful, it was actually enjoyable, and you'll have seen some of the beautiful scenery that's well worth doing that drive from Inverness to Braemar. So today we are in Braemar for 3 nights, and I'll do a separate tour of the campsite. But the great thing about this campsite, it's an independent site, but it's a fairly big site, but it's about 5 minutes walk into Braemar. One tip for you really, because we spent an hour yesterday wandering around different parts of Braemar trying to find restaurants to book, and of course it was a Saturday night and everything is already booked. So we managed to get into the Braemar Lodge tonight, but everything else we gave up. So what we ended up doing is going to the butcher's and buying a couple of steaks, which we had on the Caddock last night, which were absolutely lovely, probably nicer than going to a restaurant, and we were pretty tired anyway after a long day of driving. So we're in Braemar for 3 nights now, and as I say, I'll do a separate tour, and I'll also in next week's video do a tour of Braemar itself, which is absolutely beautiful. But other than that, I hope you found today's video entertaining and useful, and giving you some ideas for your journeys through Scotland, through the Highlands. But please hit the subscribe button, please leave any comments if you've got anything to add to the travels that we've done today. And other than that, we will see you next Sunday for the next episode of On the Road Again.